Hello, good morning, everybody. Sorry for the late start. Thank you, Canister, for the raid. Thank you, Greenwire, for the 10-month resub. Hope you all are doing well today. Today is the second time we are trying Inti, Seneschal of the Sun. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. When you do, put a counter on target attacking creature against trample to end of turn. And whenever you discard one or more cards, you exile the top card of your library and play that card until your next end step. Dr. Obot, 22 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So I got so we were playing this card in a hollow one shell, and I was very excited about having this card in hands where I also had Street Wraith, where I could play this card, pass the turn. If my opponent kills it, I can cycle Street Wraith on my opponent's turn and get a card and turn this into a nice little 2-for-1. And so I was, kind of looking at other places to play Street Wraith in. I was messing around with a Death Shadow build for a little bit, but just having other discard enablers for Inti is there's just not really any good ones. And the other, obviously very interesting discard enabler in this deck is Underworld Cookbook, where every single time you tap this, you get to trigger Inti, and you get to reveal the top card of your library, play it till end of turn. And what's very cool about this deck, too, is the curve is super duper low. We curve out at 2. I know we have these, kind of 0 drops. And it is a little bit awkward, I think, that you can't cast these if you reveal them off Inti, but I'm expecting it to likely be fine. I think that the combination of Cookbook plus Inti is going to be a lot of card advantage, and I also want to say that playing a Asmo Urza Saga deck with a super low mana curve is likely a very, very good formula in the Scam metagame. Scam is just a very difficult deck to attack, but some things that we've found success with are the card Asmo, low mana curve with lots of removal spells, and Urza Saga. This is a very good formula to try to fight them. I also am very excited to play Ragavan with Inti, where Ragavan has some problems in the format with Orcish Bowmasters, things that block Ragavan. But being able to put a counter on it by turn 2, give it trample, if you're on the play, you just get to ignore Orcish Bowmasters, you get to, attack through Young Wolves. I think that's giving Ragavan trample can also be a pretty big deal too. So I'm kind of excited to see how these two cards play together. No breaches. Yeah, I really wanted to play one breach in the deck. It is a little bit awkward to flip off Inti early is a problem I have with it. I decided to just not register one today and kind of see if... How do they have Omnath and Shieldred and Bowmaster? It's interesting. I wonder what their numbers are. I'm gonna sort of play my Cookbook turn 1 over the Daredevil so that they can't Thoughtseize or Spell Pierce it. It's just so important for Asmo and Inti to have. Wraith is not a good card in Asmo, dead except turn 1. Thank you for my comment. Your comment, my friend. Have you read the new card we're playing, Inti? That is it. Oh, I can show you now. Inti Seneschal of the Sun says whenever you discard one more cards, exile top card of your library, play card till the beginning until your next end step. There's a combo with this. It's a 0 mana draw 2. Hopefully I have persuaded you that it's worth an inclusion. That is also funny. It always cycles for 0 mana. You do lose 2 life though. also, dead after turn 1 is it's also funny because you think you only ever have Asmo on turn 1. Okay, no scam. Cypher with the 11 months. Thank you. Oh, Jund. Interesting. Backup Inti's cool. We're going to discard on our opponent's turn, so we can basically guarantee getting to use the card unless it's a Wraith or Daredevil. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm just giving them better info. They're never exiling this. So if they have this Thoughtseize for this Inti in hand and then a removal spell for the Inti in play, it's not ideal. Brenton 26, thank you, welcome back. Takes the bolts. So they must have a... that probably means they have, not a removal spell for the Inti in play. Oh wait, I'm like, where did this cookbook come from? It came from the Thoughtseize. Inti, Thoughtseize Insurance, baby. Let's go. So we flipped an Ovalchase Daredevil, which isn't helpful. Arid Mesa. Street Wraith, also not helpful, unfortunately. You get to sack a food token, I guess. Just gonna pass back. This engine's so nice too, though, with the Inti in our hand, and they don't have a removal spell. I'm feeling okay, although we do have a lot of things that could hit. Okay, they hit a Street Wraith, so they could cast. Tunnel Grinder seems so good in this deck. Kind of surprised you're not playing 4. It's fine. Deck looks sick. I'll download it. Definitely need to be figuring out what I'm doing in Atlanta. Flail was really good. You only reread Flail. Oh wait. Ooh, you can equip for discarding a card. Wow. That's awesome, Tech of Doom. Everybody clap for Doom. Love that. So cool. I'd like to see maybe more cards to discard for value. I don't really know how many of those there are in this format. The Soul Caller Incubation Druid deck not work out. It's unplayable on Magic Online, but it may be good in paper. Well, that's a Pioneer deck. You know a deck's good when people think it's a modern deck and they start suggesting modern cards for it. Okay, so find a Bauble. So you can use to scry here. Scry that away with the fetch lands. Another Inti. Okay, we'll probably not play the smaller Inti here. So you're gonna have a lot of cards in their hand. Gonna have to pass back. Draw a card off the Bauble. So Sokenzan, that's actually really relevant. Think there could be Chinsu with Kroxa and Soul's Ox. Yeah. Makes sense. Costs 2 mana to channel. Wait, and it triggers this? Oh, wow. Just finding combos, dude. And we hit Galvanic Blast. Oh, my gosh. Should we have 2 Sokenzans? We have so many legends in the deck, too. We should have 2, probably. It's also really nice that Inti is, you know, a card advantage engine that doesn't get got by Shieldred or Bowmasters. Like, Inti has just drawn us like 1,000 cards a turn every turn. Okay, we finally found an Asmo. Which, an Asmo also draws us another card. Oh, whoops. Since it has, or do I have another cookbook in the deck? I may be out of cookbooks, actually. Okay, I have one more. Wow, dude. That was, this deck is sick. Okay, so bring in 2 needles, I think. think they're better than Mite. Just name Rin and 6 / Beseiju or Ring. They're probably a Bowmaster deck, so like cutting the they're a Bowmaster / Rin 6 decks. So like usually against these, I want to cut the Ragavans and bring in Heats. Play the Oliphant Mountain Cycle. I think Street Wraith is better. I did consider Oliphant. It could be. We're kind of land light, but yeah, maybe some number of Oliphants are correct. Inti's been a powerhouse in Greasefang Legends. Ooh, I bet, yeah. Although hitting Sky Sovereign kind of stings. Or the big vehicles. I really had a few Unearth. In this deck, I don't really understand. I mean, okay, Unearth cycles. Okay, cycles. But I just never like to play Unearth in decks that just like have no 3-mana creatures. This deck only has, you know, it only has 12, or sorry, 6 with the Ragavan, 16 unearthable creatures. I don't know. Single black land. Yeah, maybe you could play a Blood Crypt. I usually think it's not that worth it, but in the monocolor builds, it's probably a bit better. I'll probably keep this. What about Beseiju? You cannot play Beseiju in a deck that has 21 mana red spells, I think. Plus, you're ready for Urza Saga. It's just like another land that's a tap for red. Okay, maybe we'll bring in Mite for game 3, huh? It's kind of obnoxious that it is like very good against our hand specifically. Isn't gonna be as good as against all of them, but it is what it is. I almost want to keep this. I think I'm gonna graveyard it or exile it. Pop now because of Bowmasters, I guess. Yeah, I like Epicure. Epicure is a card that I consider for the deck. I would love to hear if you think Epicure is correct, what you would cut to include it. But it was definitely one of these cards that like I really wanted to make the list and couldn't find a spot for it. It's probably an okay draw. But yeah, I like Epicure. I know Epicure is good with Inti. List feels like relatively tight at the moment. Yeah, just Asmo decks are like so full. Like here are the cards that I think are kind of mandatory. Like Ragavan is so good with Inti. It's so good with like the 8 removal spells. I think the 8 removal spells are also like pretty mandatory. The Baubles are mandatory. Yeah, just every card is mandatory almost. Like you could maybe play 4 less removal spells to play 4 Epicures, but I think I'd rather just have all this removal to like Inti into and blast your opponents out of the game. But maybe I'm missing something. Missing my Urza Saga now. Could Street Wraith be cut for Epicure? You could never cut Street Wraith in your Inti Asmo deck. It's way too good with Inti. Despite there was a chatter who said it was not good in the deck. I think I can keep another Galvanic Blast. Why is Bauble uncuttable? And your Dragon Rage's Channeler Inti deck, like it being a 0-drop to like Inti into is a big deal. But you have to play 4 Bauble in your Channeler deck. I guess you could cut Channeler, but Channeler is also so good here. What's their hand? They have 3 cards. Maybe they have the One Ring. Is Epicure really been Channeler? Yeah, I wouldn't think so. But that would be like what you would think if you made that change, right? Okay, so gonna try to draw a Lightning Bolt. Asmo would be good too. It's a good Blast the Fury. Some sort of synergy channel deck is just a good card. Yeah, it's a great card. It's also like to some extent you want 1-drops so you can play 1-drop into Inti and like you know putting a counter on Channeler, making it like a 4/4/5/5 flying trampler is pretty good. But yeah, there's not an infinite combo with Dragon Rage's Channeler. Alright, so I'm gonna just Galvanic Blast them so that if I draw Bolt or Galvanic Blast, I can just win on the spot. And then I'll probably take another hit from the Fury and like gain 3 off a Cookbook. Yeah, it does build Daredevils too. Yeah, Inti's been really good. Pings me. Rings me. Just a fog. Ragavan Insurance. Okay, so we're up to 10. Yeah, I think the best way for us to win this game is to top deck another burn spell. We have 2 burn spells in exile, 5 looks, and we can also draw an Asmo and then kill the Fury. Not a huge difference between being at 3 and 4. We cut Wraith, Replica, we get Giganta. Wraith is too good in this deck to cut. Wraith is really, really good in this deck, I think. It's just like the fact that like when you have Wraith in your hand and you play Inti, it's a very good thing to do. It makes your 2-mana creature much more resilient to removal because you just get to like cycle on their turn and not die. Okay, probably going to game 3. Stalker in the deck since discard triggers rescind. Yes, Stalker is a card people have suggested a lot. Stalker would be good in this deck, I think. If we really, really feel like Stalker is definitely better than Ragavan, then we could do that. But one thing is like Inti also makes Ragavan a lot better than it usually is. Probably wasting my time here, but I could still draw Asmo actually. Like giving a Ragavan trample is like pretty exciting. Ragavan also has artifact synergies in this deck. It's kind of close though. Okay, so let's do one Needle, 1 Mite. Also, the mana is like not great. Like splashing a 1-mana creature is going to be tough, right? Where you could play 12 black sources kind of easily, but you lose your utility lands. We also saw Sokenzan's really good in this deck. We should probably play second Sokenzan. I don't think it's better, but what's the hurt to try? I mean, we only have so much time and lots of ideas to try. Like, I want to like, this is more of an Inti build than a Stalker build. Let's just try to find the best version of it, I guess. We've also played a lot with Stalker. I think we're getting a good idea like what it is that Stalker of Souls is doing in Modern. But here's the problem too. Is like you can't play Sokenzan, which is like so nice, triggers Inti of so many legends. So the way you would build a mana base here is you have 4 Urza Sagas, 2 basic mountains, and I think 2 basic mountains. I guess you could have 1 mountain, 1 swamp, and then you would play 14 red black lands. No, sorry, 12 red black lands, which would give you 12 black sources if you have 12 black sources if you have no basic swamp. 13 if you do. You probably do play basic swamp at that point. Also cast Asmo. Yeah, you play basic swamp. So you have 13, which is like 1 less than you might like, but also maybe fine. Double Leyline. I only brought in 1 Haywire Mite. They got me. Although this hand is not very weak to the Leylines. Besage could be good if you add Oliphant. I fail to see the connection between those 2 cards. Needle Rin in 6 here. Yeah, but Besage also triggers Inti, which is cool. But I think that we just like we're a mono red deck. I don't think we want to have a Besage here. Okay, good trade for us. Yeah, but also like, if we were gonna play Stalker, like what's the cut for Stalker? I think it would be Ragavan, which is like, it feels like you just stay mono red and keep your Ragavan instead of making the mana that much worse. So they top deck Terra Sunder. They had it last turn. They would have used it last turn, I think. Let's discard this Unholy Heat. So we might not find something to use with it, but we did. And the Heat doesn't seem like it's going to be very good this game. Unholy Heat sideboard removal? Unholy Heat is in the sideboard. It is in the sideboard. We boarded them in. We have Bolts and Blast in the main, which I don't really want to go less on. It's okay. Maybe I'll just play the deck I built. We'll see if that's ever okay. Yeah, I took your advice. Okay, I can't use the Street Wraith, unfortunately. That being said, if they take 6 here, we're in pretty good shape. Sure. Or if they were Saga both games, at least this game I got a token. Fury incoming. Ha ha ha. No Fury. I'd love for them to have Bowmasters, and my Shinka means like they don't get to Bowmaster me here. Although I guess actually, oh no, they'd be a 3/3. They would ping and double block. So put us down to 6. I'm not gonna crack the Bauble yet because maybe I draw another artifact next turn and I get to Galvanic Blast. I'm under no pressure either. Lich's, yeah, I'm not familiar with Lich's Knight's Conquest. What does that one do? Yeah, I think we're chilling for the time being. Under no pressures, any artifact gives me lethal. It's a 5-mana spell that reanimates stuff. It's asking a lot. Do some upkeep to play around Disenchant. In RW, the 33, welcome back. Samurai started to make me feel old. Yeah, me too, brother. Alright. Could Inti go more aggro leaning Murktide? You don't want to play Inti in a deck with counter spells, probably. You also, like, to play Inti, you need to play, like, you need to play ways to trigger it. You don't really want to, you can't play Inti just, like maybe in humans you can play it as, like, a, no, not even there. But, yeah, you need ways to trigger it. Yeah, famously only good on turn 1. And very good on turn 1. Could Inti fit into Dredge? No. It could not. You would never ever want to play Inti over a card like Cathartic Reunion or Thrilling Discovery. And I don't think you're dying. Yeah, it's you wouldn't want to play it there, I think. Yeah, maybe like Inti Looting Wave Vials. I don't know. You need like another enabler. Like again, Inti's really good with Asmo. Like Asmo's so good at just like making sure you have cookbooks in play to trigger Inti, and if you have Ovalchase Daredevil, you're just like generating so much card advantage. Now, we don't have an Ovalchase Daredevil this game. Can probably somewhat comfortably discard Asmo. We don't need to discard anything yet, though. Would a second amazing Persist Target make a difference for Persist main decks, or is that not the issue the deck has? There's a lot of issues the deck has. I think having something else good to reanimate is not one of the big issues. I do know that Carnosaur is good, but it ain't like this huge problem solver, I think. So opponent has 2 cards in hand. Holding Jar is a problem also. Ovalchase Daredevil will be good. NT would be good. I wasn't thinking Carnosaur just general. Okay, yeah, Carnosaur is the that is the new one. So we drew NT. I could NT off of the Mox Amber. Alright, it's fine. I think I will get Mox Amber here. We already have 2 cookbooks. It's kind of close, maybe. How about NT with Collector's Vault? Yeah, what is Collector's Vault again? People keep... I can't remember which cards this is. A very slow card. I don't know, like if you use Cookbook as your NT like payoff card. Although yeah, hitting Street Wraith continues to be a little awkward. But if this is your plan, you get to activate it for 0 mana, which is a pretty big game. I'm not going to discard the Galvanic Blast right now. To the NT trigger. Ah, the grindy matchups. Collector's Vault, though, that card is, I think, very interesting with the Enigma Jewel. I've been thinking a little bit more about the Enigma Jewel, and like that is like one of the best like things to like curve Enigma Jewel into, maybe. Need a little bit more. But NT with Ronin Legend Shredder. Yeah, so I mean that's like the blue Cauldron deck. So I was thinking about playing NT in the blue Cauldron deck over Patchwork. Maybe good there. If I qualify for Colorado? No, I've only played 1 RCQ. I'm honestly not planning on playing very many more, but if I don't qualify in Atlanta for Denver, I'll try to LCQ and maybe I'll play like 1 or 2 more local ones. Sometimes Needle has a main deck. So sometimes Scales has a main deck Needle. Yeah, I kind of want to save this Galvanic Blast for them too. Like my life total is just so high. They don't have Ink Moth. I can be a little bit worried about them having a Ballista in their hand, but they also don't have red mana to sack Sabaz. Am I cooking for Atlanta? I haven't really started. So much to do. I will cook though. And if I don't cook, I'll play, you know, whatever I think is the best like stock list. Patiently waiting for mono blue con with entry. Yeah, at some point. NT's definitely been really good, so I want to be playing a lot with it. I can't remember if I ordered a bunch of Ixalan cards from coolstuff.com with code SPIKE for 5% off. I think NT was in the pile. Got a VIP mod for Hulukami, which will be VIP mod. Congratulations. When it gets a Springleaf Drum, which would allow them to activate Sabaz. Thanks, Lion. So if their mystery card is a Ballista, that's their last card, we're kind of in bad shape. Okay. What's the difference? So the difference is that VIP does nothing except let you talk. It's just you get a diamond next to your same instead of a sword. and you can't mod. Am I dead? I don't really see a lot of point in just making them use the welding jar right now either. I'm not dead. I'll become a mod. Cool. Congratulations. Yeah, I guess we're gonna just try to top deck a burn spell. So maybe we kill the construct token, or like, and if they welding jar, then it gets tapped and they can't hit me for 5 more. Not really doing anything else with these foods, although I guess making my construct bigger is something. And the deck tech for Mr. Over or Imrover. I would not register Grim Tutor in these decks. I would almost definitely want to play more just like blue cantrips. Like, I play the 4th side of hand over the first Grim Tutor. I always kind of feel like these decks want the 22nd land also. I haven't played a ton with them. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, this is one of those, like, this is kind of like stockish list, right? And for an archetype, I haven't like put a lot of thought into or time into, so it's hard to give a lot of meaningful advice on it, I think. Okay, now the burn spell off the top. So I can go Channeler plus Galvanic Blast to get a Surveil in. My life total's pretty high though, and I can actually double block the Ballista. Too bad I don't have a Pyrite Spellbomb in the main deck. Are these even ad nauseam decks anymore? I mean, it says one ad nauseam, but yeah, you know, you're right. It's more of a spoils combo, which is why I like the 1-mana cantrips. They top decked Ravager. Fuck. That's why I like the 1-mana cantrips, because they just help you assemble that like turn 4 combo kill better. So 4, 6, 6, 6. This is Xaxes. But if it's Xaxes, I can gain life. Yeah, so yeah, we'll make them go in on it. Could you cut ad nauseam and just play Inverter? I wouldn't hate like 1 Inverter maybe as a tutor target for Profane Tutor. That's kind of I like the idea of playing 1 Inverter in the deck. I actually think that's a very cool idea. So like minus 2 Grim Tutors plus 1 Inverter plus 1 side of hand. Could also see you playing like 3rd Thoughtseize. It's just like Profane Tutor comes down turn 4. That's, you know, and so you can tutor up, and if all you have is an Oracle in your hand, it's like, seems like a lot of times you'll just be able to go play Inverter, win the next turn, and like enough of the time to play 1 copy. I like the idea of that. Okay, so they didn't go for the Ozil, like, they didn't go like sack the Construct, sack the Ravager, Ozilith onto Ballista like I thought they would. So we're definitely going to make a token at this point. 2 7/7s that could theoretically become 2 9/9s, or so 1 7/7, 1 6/6. If I block here, they can make this plus 5 counters, 18 18. So this is 13, 15, 17. This is game 1. I don't have a needle. 13. Yeah, it's literally 1 power toughness short of being able to double block. So I think we have to block like this. We have to block the Ballista or dead. Yeah, then they sack the token to prevent the life gain. And I think they just let damage happen. Yeah, the blue circle's new. I've been liking it. Is main deck Needle worth it? You can main deck a Needle over the Shadowspear. I think it's not super realistic to try to play both. So they don't have any. So they sack their drums. So getting if they get Zabaz, I guess they can sack it to Ravager. Yeah. So let's say they get Zabaz. I should be pretty dead. Should be pretty dead if they get Zabaz, right? Although I can make the. They have to block with the Ravager. They have to block with the Ravager, or kill their construct. I think we're dead if they win an all in Ballista. Yeah, pre-combat. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, can't play all the Saga targets. Obviously, Pirate would be nice. So make a construct, get a Mishra's Bauble. This makes them ballista down my construct token for 8. Yeah, I'm probably alive. Ginger will be lethal here? Really? I don't think that's true. I guess they don't know about the Galvanic Blast. They may just... Yeah, they may just not play around it. Awesome. What a game. Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to play around mounted Galvanic Blast here. Very funny they have a 2020 Ballista in play, but I'm just at 33. Let's go, dude. Cool game. Okay, so in come the needles, in comes the mite, in comes the stone, probably 1 Spellbomb. Potentially 10 cards coming in. Mox Amber is cuttable. Shadowspear is cuttable. Ragavan's easy cut. Can trim a Bauble, pretty easy. Probably cut the 4th Ragavan. don't want to cut the 4th Daredevil. I mean, the red removal is not so good against them. Like, we just don't need to bring in the heats. By Wraith, I just don't like. I don't want to cut the card advantage spells when I'm bringing in all the removal. Like Wraith is like a cheap Asmo enabler, which is important, and it's a draw 2 with Inti, which is so insane with like these 8 premium 1-drop interactive spells. They're just cutting the Bauble. And like Inti also gets better with all these like good interactive spells too. I guess. Yeah, usually Twitch chat is always like, Spike, why no Street Wraith? Why no Street Wraith? Okay, I'm gonna go use the rest of the right back.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. 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 What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Okay. Opponent's back. I'm back. Let's go. At the very least, I think when it comes to, you know, do we play Street Wraith, do we not? It's clear probably whatever I'm doing is wrong. And whatever I'm doing, chat would just do the opposite. Yeah, I mean, I really want to get the Stomping Ground here, so let's just go ahead and Stomping Ground, Cookbook. And then I didn't just gonna yield to end of turn. Basically never discarding end of turn, right? Okay, I love that their nature's claiming a cookbook. That's so good for me, holy shit. Okay, so cycle first. Stone is really good. I think I'm down to go Channeler's Stone. Are you crazy the mountain look a little blue? Does it? Does anybody in the chat... Ooh, Surveil. Oh, Surveil to the art goes back to the hand. Let's go. Does this look blue to anyone in chat? Does this, to anyone, look like an island? Actually, what does the basic island look like? Yeah, Volcanic. Yeah, looks like a dual land. Okay, this one at least look. Wow, this looks sick, dude. You play a blue deck. Yeah, I don't think I've seen the planes either. Yeah, these are from the new set. I always like to use the new basics of the new set. I think they look really good too. Yeah, I've seen this one. This one is really cool. I think it was the first one spoiled. Alright, don't want to trade here. Trade looks so nice in these post-board games. You have so many cheap interactive spells. 1/1 Walking Ballista. Pings my Channeler. Take that. Could be good to just play 2 cookbooks this turn. That means like the next construct will be just so big. And like I get to bolt whatever they play this turn, and with the stone in play, I don't really get to do anything. Echoing Deep. Something Mr. Sari's been championing. Seems okay. It's just like you have so many like options for colorless utility lands in Modern these days. I don't know that this is going to be the best one. Okay, so we can make a construct that is both large and in charge. We have Needle to name Inkmoth Nexus for next turn. Could just Needle it now. Well, I kind of wouldn't mind if they just like spent their mana dealing me 2 infect and then I get them next turn. I have a Haywire Mite in my hand. I just have everything. I guess I just get another cookbook. Sounds good with Saga. I mean, sounds okay. I don't know. That is the idea, for sure. It's a problem. These Cyber versus Breed, nothing comes in. Bring in at least 1 Haywire Mite. I think you're mostly trying to plan to burn them out with your Blast and Bolts. I think it's a reasonable plan against them. Yeah, so I think we just play Mite this turn. Plan to both this Patchwork. Very happy if they Inkmoth me twice, because we'll be able to lock these down for 1 mana. Why the Stone? So Stone stops Modular and Hangerback Walker's death triggers. Okay, don't need to bolt yet. So like there's a boss can't modular this game, their Arcbound Ravagers can't modular, their Hangerback Walkers don't make tokens. I might block the Zabaz with my Might though. I play Tron and think of playing Stone over Relic. It seems fine. Like actually stop Scam on turn 1. It is legendary though. Dismember, huh? So Inti / Asmo are like game-ending, insane top decks. We also have the ability to cookbook back a Channeler and play it if we draw lands. When do we activate the Might? The Might had no targets, so only non-creature. Although it could be trolling. Who can even tell anymore? Could also just maybe just gain 6. Probably get to sack a cookbook. Take 4. Can surveil. So now I kind of have to cookbook back the Mites. I couldn't cast Daredevil. I couldn't activate the Haywire Mite yet. Think of Echoing Deep in Scales. I don't really love it. It's just like, I think it's the kind of card that you would be like pretty excited for like several years ago when there were fewer good utility lands. They're just like unlimited, infinite, insane utility lands. I would probably play a Blinkmoth Nexus over it if I wanted a different colorless utility land. Like almost definitely I would just play a Blinkmoth instead. I know Mr. Sari likes it, so I could be missing something. Yeah, they can't name food. You have to name a non-token card. So the thing about maybe naming Asmo, maybe naming Haywire Mite, maybe trying to name food. They name Asmo instead of Cookbook, which I don't think makes like, really any sense knowing I have Haywire Mite in my hand. Although I guess it means I can't Asmo and kill stuff immediately. Maybe that makes sense. Definitely a nice top deck. So the plan is to go Haywire Mite, block sack of food, and I guess we also Needle Inkmoth Nexus this turn. Inkmoth Nexus. So we're gonna gain 5 up to 7 and take 3 or 4 depending on if they draw an artifact for turn. I guess Ballista kills me. Oh, Hangerback Walker, nice. Yeah. Also, if they name book, we can't cast Asmo. Although I mean, I would be able to because I have the Haywire Mite. Close game. I think we're gonna be able to just barely scrape by. Maybe I'm miscounting. Also draw a relevant card next turn. Some amount of the time. So I go down to 3 tokens. Yeah, I guess yeah, we actually do have to draw something. A 1-mana creature or 1-mana removal spell. A land. Does a land do it? Okay, well, that does it. Right on time. Did I get anywhere with the Is It Asmo build? Yeah, this is where I got with it. I think a Call Pakal is something I still want to work on. I don't think you want to play it in this deck, though. Concession lag? Nope. Whew. People say this card's really good in limited. Oh, it's a 1/3. Yeah, okay, I'm definitely keeping this. I think on the draw I'm going to put back second Mountain. I really want to be able to go Inti with Street Wraith up, and I want to have a Daredevil for my cookbook I get off Saga. Yeah, so the way I'm kind of thinking about this card, right, because you tap 2 artifacts or creatures, is this card basically puts this imaginary card in your hand. It puts an imaginary card in your hand that says, it's a 2-mana card that, okay, like the discarding that says convoke, deal 1 damage to your opponent, buyback, and it puts like unlimited copies of this imaginary card in your hand, if you will. Should definitely add Sunshot Melissa in this deck. Definitely. I don't know about definitely. Like, to me, I think I would rather play Sunshot Melissa in a deck with, like, Gleeful Demolition and Kadatha Rebirth. So we're pretty locked in making a token next turn, I think. So I don't see a ton of a reason. I guess I could draw a Bauble, and then I would get, like, a Surveil. So I think I'll use 1. Scolding in the main? Yeah, I don't know. Some people think Scolding's better than Spell Snare. I'm pretty firmly in the Spell Snare camp, I think. Although they may be more of a control build. I'm bugging about Elstream, yeah. I'm open to the idea of that card being okay. It also has a cauldronable ability, which is something. I'll definitely work on it a little bit. So they may not be ready for me to just have an Underworld Cookbook here. Like if they have Lightning Bolt, they now just can't. They can't bolt the construct. Come on, dude. You can't main deck dress down me. That's illegal with the main deck dress down in this format. You kidding me? I got a stream to entertain and you're out here main deck dress down to me, embarrassing me. So rude. Stern Scolding. Counter spell. Archmage's Charm. Draw 2. You've made 2 constructs. I will cast a dress down. Thank you for playing. Got to keep the wonky decks honest. Okay, so hoping that they can't also counter this Inti. I'll steal your Ragavan. I'll fetch an island and I'll counterspell your Inti again. Yes, thank you. Thank you for playing. See you next game. Sure, I'm glad I didn't lose the die roll. I'll draw 3 now. 6 spells in my hand. You'll go. Scrapper mark, then cut it to lower the curve. Yeah, let's go to game 2. Sounds like a plan. Alright, down a game against Is It Control. Probably a Snapcaster deck. We can play Stone of Erech. I don't want to play Mox Amber against them, I think. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. Maybe we just run it back. Like, Stone is not very good against Snapcaster. I guess Needle for explosives is something I want. Do I want the Shadowspear? Shadowspear just seems kind of bad. Let's try this. Try not to make a second construct, maybe. If they feel like they've got dressed down. Alright, on the play. Put the die roll that game. I think it's also bit better. I'm gonna keep this. We can get the scry with the Bauble. We get Cookbook, Daredevil going. Inti? Ah, there's the Mox Amber. Alright, cantrip's not helping me very much, unfortunately. Yeah, Needle Scalding Tard might have been a vibe. Although they clearly don't have one in their hand with their turn 1 Sulfur Falls. Love to see Inti on top. They cast into the fire the needle that I had on explosives. So now they can go explosives on 1. I can't remember the last time I just like I got this fucking got by a Is It player, dude. Just everything right on time. Right, he's a control player, I should probably say. Yeah, skill issue for sure. Yeah, I'll probably just back it up in a sec. I was kind of hoping I draw Street Wraith to punish them for waiting to bolt the Inti. I didn't. I'm gonna pack it in. I think. We're just like kind of never winning this draw go situation when they have 4 cards. Just don't have anything relevant in hand. Do you want to try black for Bowmasters? Okay, you tell me. It is weird to play tap lands in this kind of deck, though. Has a lot of synergy. Okay, so yeah, here I will just play Ragavan turn 1, try to save the Street Wraiths for the Inti. If we either draw a land or hit with Ragavan, we get to Inti. We could also, like, cycle, try to find a land if we miss. And the Ragavan dies. I wouldn't play Bowmasters, but it's either Bolt or Galvanic Blast if you're gonna try anything. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Bowmaster's just not very synergistic, and I don't know. It's a fine card. The standards for Daredevil really necessary. Feels like you draw 2 of them too often. You really want to draw that first one. So badly do you want to draw the first one. I think you should play 4. It's like it's like so important to have a Daredevil when you're going off with Inti also. Suspends a Lotus Bloom. Probably bad news for me. So play Inti. Finds a Saga for us. Wow, we're kind of going off. Will we be fast enough against living or Adnos? Maybe we will be. Like we have 2 more 0 mana draw 2s. We'll see. I think I'm gonna discard the Shadowspear. Find an Ovalchase Daredevil, which useless. That's okay though. Galvanic Blast is nice. So I'm gonna cycle this. We find another Galvanic Blast, and we find Mox Amber. Big deal. Find a Bauble and another Inti. Another Daredevil. Angel's Grace. Wish I could keep that one for a little bit. Find a Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we have... We can go Bolt, Blast, make a Construct. Oh, sorry, I only have 1 treasure. Okay, just Bolt, Blast. I mean, we have lethal next turn, which is kind of all we care about. And then if they Angel's Grace, we get to Galvanic Blast them. We're also playing against Calibrated Blast, and the game played out pretty similarly, where we were fast enough to race their combo, which is very important for decks like this, that you could race these spell-based combo decks, which is why I think you have to play like 4 Bolt, 4 Blast. Kind of sad to not hit a land there. We had like probably 8 looks at a land and missed. Okay, I think they're conceding with this Spoils of the Vault. Thinking of something funny to name, maybe. How much do you need Bauble? We have 4 Dragon Rage's Channelers in the deck. I think we need Baubles. Oh, wait, what did they name? They named Abandon Reason. Okay. So Haywire Mite can kill Lotus Bloom, Prism, and the unlikely Phyrexian Unlife. Don't really see that card anymore. I think that I want to get the Shadowspear for a Mite for sure. Maybe that's just the only change. You can also probably cut a Daredevil. Yeah, and then it's a good hit off NT. Like having the option of hitting it off NT is almost always good. I think it's pretty mandatory. I understand the power card. I think I'd rather drop Wraith, even though it looked pretty decent. I don't like Darcy that much at the moment. Okay, that's fine. You are free to do so. I think cutting Street Wraith from this deck is like ludicrous, to be honest. But you are free to cut it. It's just like in your Asmo, and I know it's like you want to fit in like what card are we fitting in? Neonate, like we're so desperate for Neonate that we don't want to play Street Wraith in our Asmo Inti deck. I just don't really get it. I get a Surveil off this, but I'd probably just rather keep the Street Wraith. Late line. If I found myself short on things to discard value, seems like I could use something more than just Daredevil. It's so funny. Chat's like, do you really need 4 Daredevil? We need more. Do we gonna play a Squee? I don't know. I think 4 Daredevil's fine. You can try to surveil it into the yard. I don't know, chat. I feel like it's fine. Can you remember Lingering Souls being good in Modern? I remember Jun splashing for it for the mirror. What a time that was, huh? Yeah, I would like to play Epicur, and I do like Street Wraith a lot more. I think, like, I really can't stress how important it is to make sure that your 2-mana creature in Modern can be more resilient to removal and like play better against removal. And the fact that you can go Inti, hold up the Street Wraith, so if they kill it on their turn, you get to do I keep another channeler? The problem is I just don't have Delirium. I guess I could bolt myself. Mostly looking for Inti, I guess. Like being able to go Inti, Street Wraith on their turn is like just such an important play to make Inti a really big powerhouse. Friendzo, the 28 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I bolt myself. See much reason to draw and cycle that. Okay, best draw. So there's, you know, we need to find a Bauble to find Delirium, but we just kind of have some free looks at it, right? So let's go ahead and try to find that, kill a little bit faster. Obviously, the ley line is going to make it hard to kill through, but hopefully they kept, you know, a kind of non-functional hand with the ley line. Numbers to the 10, thank you. Oh, not just cookbooking the bolt. No, we cast bolt for Surveil. Surveil is, our life total doesn't matter. It's way better to cast bolt for Surveil than discard it. I'm not casting it to get out of, I'm not playing it to discard it out of my hand. So they suspend a Profane Tutor. It's good news, obviously. So there's an Asmo which we can cast. Still looking for Delirium. There we go. Guess sorry, I should have done this first. We found another channeler, which is such a big deal here. Because we're hitting them for 7 this turn, and that gives me a lethal attack next turn. So one thing here, so I can Galvanic Blast myself and Surveil 2. But what does that even help me play around? I guess I could dig for Haywire Mite for Leyline. Again, and my life total just is irrelevant, so. Okay, Ragavan, does Ragavan let me play around a removal spell? I have, yeah. If they, not that they're super likely to have removal. But if they had a removal spell, then I would still have lethal if they... Because I could Inti a counter onto something else. Oh, I can't actually Inti discard on something else. You could have blasted your channeler. Why would I? Oh, I blessed the 5/5. Right, 5/5. Okay, that's why. Why was it not in yesterday's Descend deck? The Street Wraith. It maybe should have been. Maybe should have been. Yeah, it could be interesting to try to play like mono black, Descend. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we could be like, we could be mono black splash Inti and then play. Stalker over Ragavan, Souls of the Lost over Channeler, Bloodghast in the deck over some of the removal. Sounds kind of nice. The deck would definitely be slower, but you would have Souls of the Lost. Might also play Channeler in that deck. Not play any birds. You can still play some bird spells too. You can play mud. I don't know if I'd love mud. It's kind of slow and high on the curve. It's fine though. I do like Inti with Souls of the Lost because it gives it trample too. If you take out Chandler, do you need Bauble? Well, Bauble's still kind of nice in your like I think so. The problem with Chandler at that point is you don't have any. If you're cutting the bolts and blasts, you kind of don't have enough ways to trigger it. But Bauble will still be nice in your Stalker deck, but maybe you don't need it. Yeah, so you can play Epicer maybe at that point. Yeah, Bauble still go with Inti Stalker. Might still be worth it. So they're playing Spoils of the Vault here. Think we're extra weak to Bowmasters? How does that look? Looks kind of good. Okay, on the draw in the blind. We'll just play this game for now. Awesome, Rouse. Yeah, GG's to you. Desecrated Tomb is one of the many 3-mana artifacts in Modern that you have to like untap with for them to be good. If I had a fetch land here, I could maybe like get Delirium at instant speed, which would have been so nice. Let's keep this Inti though. I'm gonna save the Bauble to protect Inti from a. Oh, there's just so many factors here with the Bauble. It's like, I think about Bowmasters, discard spell, and Ragavan flipping it. I definitely needed to pop it now because it's better against Bowmasters and removal spell on my Channeler. Although I guess I could Street Wraith to draw the Inti. I tried Mono Black Confluence Stalker. Not yet. I've had the list ready to go for a little bit, but I haven't taken the time to play it now. Okay, so despite definitely making a mistake here, I ended up, I think, finding the line that was the best against my opponent's specific hand. Yeah, we maybe don't need Baubles here, but they do seem pretty good in the deck still. Because one thing too is it's like, oh yeah, we cut the Mox Amber in this build, so we can play like a Nile Spellbomb maybe. Okay, another Inti. They took my Street Wraith, which is Inti resting. We go for double cookbook here. So if we draw a land, the Saga can maybe take over this game. If we don't draw a land, we can go Inti with the ability to dig twice for a land to play. Awesome grade, very cool. Voidwalker definitely is a little bit of a damper here. Maybe you find something sweet to play. Do you know what you're going to play first? Okay, both speed down to 15. Okay, so we'll go Inti. I think we still discard the Daredevil. Maybe I discard the second Inti. So I have a lot of removal for this in the deck. I'm going to discard the Daredevil first. So we find a Lightning Bolt. So it would be really ideal to find a land here. I think we really, really, really need to find a land. I think I'm just going to go for it. We find it. Awesome. Huge news. Kind of wish that this was Ovalchase Daredevil still, although I think just planning to go bolt the Voidwalker, trade here, make a construct seems fine. Make a gigantic construct if they don't have Blood Moon. So they have Grief, maybe? If they Grief, I get to trigger the Inti. Maybe this is Fury. Yeah, it's Fury instead. That being said, my construct is big enough to just eat the Fury in combat, right? It's a 7/7. Can be an... Will be a 8/8 off the token, potentially 9/9 off a discard. Hit another Ragavan. So I'll grab the Shadowspear. And it'll come down to, does my opponent have Terminate / Molten Collapse? Yeah, so I wouldn't always main deck Shadowspear in these kind of decks, but I think with Scam just being the most popular, you have to play it in the main and side it out. So if they attack with the Fury, I have a pretty easy block, right? Oh, no, I don't. Because if they have a Scam card, what happens? They get to kill the Construct. Yeah, I like grabbing Drum. It's not in the... There's no Drum in the deck. I'm playing Mox Amber instead, which is, questionable. So I block here, I take 7, and I don't die to Bolt. And I beat a Scam card pretty well. So it feels like the right block. I think I might... I understand having the Galvanic Blast up is really attractive. The Shadowspear is such a big game, though. Yeah, let's just go ahead and discard both of these. So... yeah, I'll play the Saga. Could you play Inti and Shadow? So, yeah, so again, when I was starting to build this deck, I'm like, I really like the idea of playing Street Wraith and an Inti Shell. The two options are Asmo decks or Shadow decks. I think theoretically you could do both, but I tend to not like Asmo and Shadow decks since like you kind of need like a synergistic payoff. I mean, you have that here. I mean, you could just play some Shadows. I may be overthinking it. This is the side we're playing though. -4 Ragavans, -1 Mox Amber, +4 Unholy Heat, +1 Stone. Yeah, you could. I think in just regular Shadow, like Inti needs support. Like for Inti to be like this crazy card, like playing Underworld Cookbook is like kind of the best thing to pair it with. You could pair it in the Cauldron deck with like Rona, Ledger Shredder, and like the +1 counter synergies. Could be good in like a Cauldron style deck like that too. It was good in the Hollow One Shell. It was nice in the Crabvine, but like just like in a generic like with just Street Wraith, I'm not that excited. Yeah, giving Trample to Shadow is nice. I agree. A lot to do with this card. This card has a lot of text on it, a lot of synergies, and I feel like it's definitely powerful enough for Modern. It's a card that has gone up in my estimations by a good bit after playing with it some. Maybe Shadow over Rag and have 2 Rag in sideboard if you want. Well, I mean, it's just like just a pretty different deck. So I do think after this league we could try this black build too. This deck gets to play with 12 of the new cards, which is exciting. Do you have like one more slot? We have to fix the mana too. If we're here to make Inti worse version of Tiber Battle Rage, I mean, it's mostly like a good threat that can make card advantage and also sometimes tramples. That's oh, this is a sick hand. Mutt? I don't think I want to play Mutt. It's just too high on the curve. We played 19. We actually probably just played 19th land, right? Or we always play Drum. We just play Springleaf Drum. Drum is a lot better in this build because of Bloodghast, I think, and Supplier. Listen, I probably scrapwork Mudded more than anybody else, and I think I know when it's good, when it's bad. We'll mess with the sideboard and the mana after this one. Sequencing this turn 1 is interesting. Like for the most part, you kind of want to wait on. You kind of want to wait on Asmo until you can kill something. So I think I'm just gonna go Mountain Cookbook. I really don't think this is an unearthed deck. You only have like you just have no you have like you don't have enough. I mean, I don't think Asmo's fine, and like cycling with Inti is fine, but I just hate playing unearthed with no 3 mana creatures. Okay, so I'm gonna wait on the discard here. So let's see what we draw off the Street Wraith. A nice card. A bit worried about playing into Scam Fury. Could maybe have gone Channeler Bolts, but is Inti my only red card main? Yeah. She seems really good here, though. And it's kind of nice that, like, compared to, like, this deck splashing Stalker, you're splashing a 2-drop instead of a 1-drop, which is a big difference. I don't think I'm going to attack. I think I'll just play second Cookbook with the ability to trigger Inti on their turn. Maybe kill the token if they, like, kill my Asmo. Lynn's with the 17. Thank you. Welcome back. It's also kind of nice in the black build too. Like Street Wraith and Daredevil are like actually castable. Harvester's okay. I mean, I don't know. Like we can Mud Fable. I know. I think that this just looks like the deck to me. This just looks like the main deck after we fix the mana. I think this looks great. This deck was also good too. Like, you know, it is kind of cool to play these back to back where we can compare Ragavan DRC to like Stalker plus like Souls of the Lost. I'm a little worried this build is too slow against like spell based decks. Like we played against Amulet and we played against Calibrated Blast and we were able to like bolt and burn them out. But it is also true Souls of the Lost can be very fast card art kill. Yeah, Shadowspear on the Souls is also really cool. Yeah, getting to play 12 LCI cards is nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and at least discard Arid Mesa here. I see a Galvanic Blast on top. I think I'm okay to discard. Let's discard Channeler. Backup Inti is really nice. So we may not get to use the heat. Can like Galvanic Blast their face, maybe. I guess if they just have another creature, they're not playing it into 2 burn spells. I was really not expecting to get needled. It's pretty bad for me. I think I'm gonna attack for 2. Not discard anything. And just main phase, make a token, Galvanic Blast them for 4. I forgot to bring in the needle also for explosives. Speaking of explosives. So I'm gonna get a little cheeky with the whole like pretend I boarded in the needle. If I boarded the needle, I would just click OK back here. Whoever gets stone. Shadowspear on Inti is kind of cool because we can get it out of bolt range. If we discard the other Inti. I think out of Fury range the following turn. And it also puts them to 4, so I could draw a another Galvanic Blast for lethal. Although I think I only have 1 left. I have 2 left. Gleeful Demolition, sideboard card for Needle. Probably just play Haywire Mite instead. Not using that mana means that you can't kill now and Grief gets you. Wait, what did you want me to do instead? You literally just summoned Grief to my opponent's hand, by the way. I get to like trigger Grief if they have, or Inti if they have Grief. Literally just summoning Grief to their hand for no reason. Why would you do that? Okay, so we could trade here. Yeah, I literally what was the other line? You didn't take the mana to Shadowspear? The Shadowspear is important for... I didn't have lethal without the Shadowspear equip. You didn't take the mana to Shadowspear. I'm confused. That being said, finding Saga is, you know, very nice here. It is very funny when they thought sees you with NT in play and you get to trigger it. So they draw land for turn, which means I'm getting a construct. You didn't tap the Saga. Oh, the Saga for mana. I see. Okay. I understand. Fair. They did think about it though. They did think about popping the explosives and playing around Needle. They just decided not to. Okay, we'll crack down because of Bowmaster is if they draw Grief or like Thoughtseize, they die and they're dead here. Okay, so we 4-1 this league. That's okay, Panda. We love you. Also, we're getting close to playing Esper Shadow soon, maybe.